My name is Jeanette Rufus. I am the CEO of Granville Engineering, also known as GVE. Today, I will present to you the Human Factors Concept Graphic and Narrative. It is presented to stakeholders and management of GVE. On the agenda today will be issues concerning Granville, the significance of Granville, what is theory, what is theory-based approach, the building blocks of a theory, the human relations theory introduction, Mary Parker Follett's theory, and recommendations for Granville. Today I will present to you Granville stakeholders and management, a theoretical model for organizational dynamics focusing on individual behavior forces affecting your work culture and bottom line, while providing you a perspective on human behavior theory with recommendations to modify and or reduce those behaviors. Granville is a comprehensive management system with over 1,500 staff members with an $880 million summary of revenue. It has a culturally diverse number of employees. It provides generous assets and a revenue sharing plan for its employees. It has an exploration and improvement center that employs advanced innovations for developing plant procedures and merchandise. It produces bicycle parts, designs, and produces ball bearings and bearings casings. The issues to be addressed is conflict among leadership and staff, which caused negativity and strife and so much divisiveness at Granville. Today I want to talk to you about theory. Theory is a way of coupling understanding and expertise while making connections and unforeseen associations. They are better understood by observation, leading to a better understanding of what we observe, supported by expertise. Theories also explain why or how something happens. The building blocks of a theory starts with constructs, and constructs are brief thoughts detailed at an immense level of consideration that are chosen categorically to define the circumstance of interest, which is considered the what. The second building block of a theory is propositions, which are affiliations theorized between constructs established on deductive logic. This is considered the how of the theory. The third building block of a theory is logic. Logic provides the support for confirming the propositions as posit, and this is considered the why of the theory. The final building block is borderline conditions and or assumptions. They are about beliefs, moment, and distance, and borderline conditions that conduct where the theory can be practiced and where it cannot be practiced. This is considered the who, the when, and the where of the theory. I chose to look at three different theories before I chose the one that I wanted to present to you. So the first one that I chose to look at is classical management theory, and it has a tendency for companies to become agenda controlled rather than objective controls. When an organization follows exact policy and rules, there is a potential for staff to feel unnerved. The second one I took a look at was the bureaucratic theory, and it is structured around functions that require their own competence and follow specific rules. The functions are arranged in a hierarchy and trained to a set of technical rules. Administration is separated from the production of work, and decisions and rules are documented in writing. The third one that I took a look at was scientific management. And scientific management contends that companies could boost their output by having managers select workers, train them for specific tasks, then reward them for their output. It is believed that workers were primarily motivated by money and that managers could incentivize workers to be more efficient by increasing their financial compensations. Managers are viewed as having all of the requisite knowledge, and workers were not solicited for input on how to prove their work. But the one that I chose was the human relations theory, because managers and theories believe that it was not right or productive to treat workers like machines. They thought that both workers and organizations could benefit from different approaches. Also, the focus is on the specific behaviors of leaders that affect productivity and to motivate those employees. The theoretical concept framework presented by Mary Parker Follett. So, according to research, Mary Parker Follett was best known for her in-depth analysis of conflict situations in public and business organizations. According to her, constructed conflict, based on her idea of invented integration, is one of the key principles at the heart of personnel relations in industry. And those principles are coordination by direct contact of the responsible people concerned, coordination in the early stages, and coordinations as the reciprocal relations of all factors in a situation. And the fourth one is continuation, coordination as a continuation. The theoretical framework as it relates to GVE's issues are the exact same principles as before. However, when you use the direct contact of the responsible people concerned, that reduces the conflict. And if you want to reduce the confrontation, then you do it in the early stages. And the reduction of strife comes with the reciprocal relating of all factors in a situation. That means you have to take a look at the entire picture, not just a piece of the puzzle. The main constructs and relationships of the theory by Follett is that conflict is merely a result of natural differences between people of diversity. The goal is to integrate these differences in order to unite dissenting parties and produce a collective good for all. Conflict resolution is when two parties have a disagreement, but they come together, usually with a mediator, for a resolution that will serve both parties, avoiding conflict and misunderstanding. When and if conflict occur, there should be a concerted effort on both parts to alleviate the problem and pull together for the good of the organization. This in turn reduces the conflict, reduces the confrontation, reduces the strife, and specifically at Granville, conflict among leadership and staff caused negativity and strife, and so much divisiveness can be alleviated and or reduced by reducing the conflict coordinated by the direct contact of the responsible people concerned, reducing confrontation by coordinating in the early stages. You reduce the strife by coordination as the reciprocal relating of all factors in a situation. And then you reduce negativity and coordination as a continuing process. Mary Parker Follett's theory will provide clarity for management at Granville on how to alleviate the conflict among leadership and staff which cause the negativity and strife. The conflict resolution is when two parties have a disagreement, but usually come together with a resolution that would serve both parties, which avoids conflict and misunderstanding. When and if conflicts occur, there should be a concerted effort on both parties to alleviate the problem and pull together for the good of the organization. Usually, conflicts derive from differences associated with diversity. The goal is to accommodate and unite all parties for the cumulative goal of the overall organizations. So those are the main constructs and relationships as it deals with GVE and Mary Parker Follett's theory. The continuity of issues at GVE cannot be dealt with in one theoretical framework. The decline in revenue, aging technology, the assembly line stoppage, the defects in products, and employee turnover, to name a few, will be set aside for the time being to deal with the management issues. Now, that is the limitation at GVE. The other limitation is the challenge for leadership at GVE, not necessarily about solving the problem, but following the focal point of the issue. understanding the issue, and come to a solution for the good of all parties involved. So the recommendations, and there are three. The three recommendations for GVE are based on Follett's theory are to employ and learn from the meaning, beliefs, and aspiration of others who are diverse or who think differently. The second recommendation is to design a strategic diversity plan through the lens of all involved parties. Finally, the recommendation is to execute that strategic diversity plan, connect all involved parties, and work toward